It's time for Gun and Saddle, a United Country M. Edwards Realty and Land weekly broadcast where we talk about anything and everything related to our God-fearing country lifestyles and the blood, sweat, and tears that it takes to make them possible. Join Monty Edwards and Pierce Lancaster as they take a deeper look at the land we all love and the people that call it home. This is Gun and Saddle.
Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Gun and Saddle for 2022. I'm Pierce Lancaster.
Monty Edwards here. I'm glad to join you. We're, like Pierce said, this is going to be our season 2 first episode. We decided to reset our season count at the first of the year. And got a lot here today for us, don't we?
Yeah. So, first off, I'd like to kind of start off by talking about the end of the year that we had. I was back home, as y'all know from last episode, and we got some hunting done. Posted a video about a duck that I shot that I thought was pretty cool, and y'all can go check that out. And I don't know how it's been over here, but yeah.
And I think we got to be careful. I think me and you are opposite each other. I'm not sure I'm looking the right direction on the screen, so we're not crazy if that looks funny. But no, I want to tell you, I thought that video you put up was really interesting. And you know, I think a lot of folks in our part of the world, we've got some guys that are big bird hunters, and I know a lot of guys hunting crane and geese, but not a ton of duck hunters. So I think some of that stuff you're putting out there is really interesting. I didn't realize all that about the different phases that they go through and how you can age a duck like that. From juvenile to adult. So, but anyway, without any further ado, I feel like a lot of you guys that are here today are interested to hear who we're going to interview. We've been looking forward to this for a while. We were fortunate enough to, a couple of months ago, to have this gentleman come in and hunt with us here in Lamb County. He was able to hunt some of our mule deer. I'm going to go ahead and just bring him on. Slade, can you hear us? Hey, we're having...
I can. How y'all doing over there in Texas today?
We're doing good. So I guess we were just not to jump in and get out of order here, but you were telling me this morning when we were talking before the show, you're actually still hunting.
Yeah, our rut, we're just coming off the peak of the rut right now. So, I would say most of the breeding's been done, but it's actually really good hunting right now. We had a pretty good morning this morning, saw a lot of mature bucks. And one of our clients that were hunting on my parents' place actually shot a really good deer, and I just saw them leave out there going to track it right now. So that was our last hunter of the week to kill. So shot and put a bullet in a really good 7-year-old buck. So hopefully they got him down.
Cool. Well, Slade, why we got you on, I mean, one of the things that we wanted to talk about, of course, was the deer hunt. But before we get into that, I've had a lot of guys here lately. I mean, we got a little buzz going when y'all were down. You were able to go to church with me on Sunday, which was kind of a cool deal, and met some of my guys I know real well. And, had a lot of questions. We just got with United Country this year. I say this year, I got to start talking different. We're in the next year now. But we just got with them in 2021, and I've had a lot of guys asking me, what is the connection with Realtree and United Country? And, I've tried to do a good job explaining that to folks, but, it was one of the main reasons that I decided to come on board with United Country. I'd like for you to expound on that a little because you've been so influential in bringing a lot of this about. Could you tell us a little bit about that partnership and kind of the birth of it and all that as we get started?
Yeah, it's a really cool story. Then, I actually like telling it because, like you said, I was involved in so much of it. So, really cool deal. So when I started my real estate career, I gotta back up to tell the story. So when I started my real estate career, I was at Mossy Oak Properties, and really went with them because I knew the local. I knew the local broker, and my dad had done some business with him, and just felt comfortable because I was going to be involved with a hunting company, and that's who I was as a hunter. Um, fast forward a couple of years, I was not satisfied where I was, so I was going to open either a Whitetail Properties office or do my own thing. And then Scott Lindsay, my business partner now, he called me and said, "Hey, Slade, we got some other things going on, me and Patrick over here at this office." And I went to work for United Country. Loved it, loved every part of it, figured out that, hey, these people have a system. If you do A, B, and C, you get X, and X is usually a piece of land sold, and good people to work with. And I really like United Country's training, the systems, the people from the CEO and the founders on all the way down. I love the company. My only complaint was, and I figured this out after a little while because I'd been at Mossy Oak Properties, was, hey, if a guy's headed down the highway and he's got $1 million in his pocket, let's say, and he's looking for a big old tract of hunting land, and he sees Mossy Oak Properties, and he sees Whitetail Properties, and he sees United Country, and this is where we live, which is actually a lot where y'all live. United Country is not as known in Mississippi until we got this office going good over here. I said, we don't get stopped at because the guy who watches the Outdoor Channel don't know who United Country is. And so I saw that as a problem. So, I had been sponsored by Realtree for years through our outdoor television show, Trained Assassins. And, one of my good buddies was working over at Realtree and kind of had some backdoor calls and about 7 months of meetings about this thing. And all of a sudden, one of the coolest things ever happened in my lifetime was whenever we announced the Realtree United Country merger at convention. I guess it's been 3 years ago now. When I say a merger, we're a franchise. Our franchises, we already use the Realtree United Country emblem. Use Realtree. We have the Realtree UC website. It's been really cool. And for United Country and for Realtree and for all the agents, I know it's been one of the biggest things that's happened to United Country since 1925 when this company started. So really a long explanation, but definitely worth it. It was a cool ride.
I agree. I think just hearing the story coming in on the back end, I watched the podcast that you guys did because Slade's got a really cool podcast himself, The Hunting Landman, and we'll put a link to that in this discussion. But you were talking with David Blanton, and y'all were talking about these same things, and that was really interesting. But I do know this, having grown up hunting and being around it, especially the later part of my life. I mean, Realtree, Realtree doesn't just put their name on things unless they feel like it carries the brand weight too. I think that means a lot.
That's right.
And David spoke to that day y'all were talking. That this wasn't the only real estate company that ever thought of doing something with Realtree, but it was the one that could. So
right.
And
so the way the way that Realtree said it was, and mirrored the same way United Country feels. We don't work with number 2 in the industry.
There you go.
We only work with number 1, which was, I was like, well, that's an honor, and I feel the same way. I feel like I'm my client's best option whenever I list a piece of land. So I like for them to work with number 1. So it was just cool all around. It was definitely a God thing meant to be.
Well, like the best partnerships are the ones where both parties bring something to the table, and so
that's right.
So one of the cool things that comes from this is when we got into this, talking about you guys coming down and being able to film a hunting show that's actually going to appear on the Realtree 365 app. Tell us a little bit about Hunt United and kind of how y'all use this and how you've seen this work to benefit United Country customers and help Realtree too.
Well, it's been really cool. So the idea was Realtree kind of, we kind of said we need some horsepower behind this brand to get it going in the form of a TV show. Now, across all of Realtree's platforms and TV shows, Realtree United Country has been featured and talked about and shared on social media and all that. But we needed its own thing. So we got with Realtree. We stopped Trained Assassin Television and we started Realtree's Hunt United. On the Realtree 365 app, a lot of the hunts have also been on the Monster Bucks and on a lot of different Realtree TV shows and platforms. But so Hunt United was it kind of goes back to Travis that helped Monty get involved with United Country. Our first episode was the epitome of what we were trying to do. We went and filmed an elk hunt in Colorado on Travis's ranch he had for sale. And I killed a good elk. We made a good TV show. It was a really fun. I'm so thankful for Travis to having us out. And it was cool because the whole time I was able to talk to Travis and his dad about United Country and about the Realtree partnership. We were able to kill a big elk, which was awesome. And I was able to do it with Ryan and Bear Cub. And I'm happy to say that not too long after that, we were able to sell that ranch. So what it did for the ranch owner, the client, was whenever that client got ready to to buy that land, we sent him trail camera pictures, we sent him episodes that were filmed on the place. And if so, a client that's going to buy, like in that case, was a $5 million plus ranch. If you got Ranch A, who you think can grow big deer or turkeys or whatever you happen to be, or elk in this case, the Ranch B, oh, and look at the trail camera pictures. Oh, look, there's a TV show that's been filmed out here. I can go watch a week of hunting out there. Excuse me. It takes that unknown out of there. And as y'all know, as realtors, when you can take the unknown out of one of the biggest purchases a client's ever going to make, it makes a huge difference in a level of comfort and for them to feel like they're getting a property that they really know a lot about.
Absolutely. And, I think another part of that as well is, like in our area, we were really interested because we've known, everybody that lives around here for a long time has known that we have some world-class mule deer here. But the biggest part of the country, like talking even with like you and Ryan, I mean, we had Ryan on a few weeks ago. He mentioned, typically when he's thinking about hunting big mule deer, he's not probably thinking about the high plains of Texas. Mm-hmm. He's looking in Mexico or Colorado, and yet we've got deer here that can rival that, and then a lot of variety and other things that we can hunt as well. So I saw that as a big asset where we could come in and promote our area, because not only just for the guys selling or guys that might want to sell, but also guys that are trying to get another leg of revenue with their property so they can increase the value of their property by having a viable hunting leg of revenue. So
I totally agree. And in this day and age with recreational land being so valuable and so sought after, a guy that maybe has hunted mule deer in other places, or and maybe he's a guy who's older up in age and doesn't want to hike mountains for mule deer anymore.
True.
Well, it's relatively flat ground. Come out there, can shoot big old mule deer, go right down the road, shoot whitetail. There's enough sandtail cranes I think you can kill one with a stick out there.
Yeah.
And like you said, for the landowner, another leg of revenue. And one thing that Monty knows, because I'm a land guy. When I'm in an area, I'm asking questions about who's your buyers, what's the pricing, and all this kind of stuff. One cool thing about it is out there, that land is still very affordable, but offers extremely good recreation. And that's not the case in a lot of places, for land to be still that affordable, but offer that much recreation and other legs of revenue with wheat, or like where we were hunting with potatoes or cotton or whatever the case may be, cattle ground.
And one of the interesting things about that too is, we've got a lot of these farmers and ranchers, and they'd love to buy every farm that comes up, but they've also got a lot of overhead costs that have increased over the last few years, such as equipment. A new John Deere cotton stripper, for instance, is going to run right south or right maybe north, depending on all the features you get on it, of $1 million. Mm-hmm. So some of these guys, they would like to buy every track that comes up, but they actually need investment partners. It really doesn't hurt them to have guys coming in, and if they can understand, and that's one of the things we're hoping we can do to educate guys in the area. What things could I do that would make me be a good partner with someone that would be willing to come in and put money in on land I could farm or ranch? Is there a way that there's a good symbiotic relationship there where we're not working against each other, we're actually working together? And then on the plus side of that, because we do have short seasons, you don't have to worry about a place that you're not around every day for people coming in poaching or doing things they shouldn't be doing, because you've got a guy out there that might be working the land. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a unique opportunity here in that regard as well for people.
Right. And it just, like you said, with great interest rates like we have right now, if a guy can say, you know what, the deal almost works.
Yeah.
And if you throw in the other asterisk of, well, what if I could get some hunters in here, or what if I could get somebody who's looking into buying a piece of hunting ground and maybe we could go in, together, all these things. I think great agents. I think there's a good agent and a great agent is a problem fixer. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm talking about when you fix problems. If you can find a farmer who wants, this big old 1,000-acre tract right here, and he's like, man, I just, the numbers almost work, but I'm losing this much money. Mm-hmm. All right, well, Joe Farmer, what if I got a guy who's looking for a recreational tract, and we figured out a way we can make it work for both of y'all? And there's a win-win where the rec guy says, man, I got a farmer who's gonna make this track easy for me afford, and the farmer's saying the same thing about the rec guy, and that's a win-win. And when we see, and that's maybe not as talked about out in Texas, but we see it in the Midwest constantly. I mean, that's a normal way people do things, and it's our job, I guess, in order to sell more land and be better realtors and land people or land pros, is put those relationships together. And I think that's what you're trying to do with these podcasts, the TV show, and just hearing you talk to people. I think that's a smart move for sure.
Well, and it's one of the neatest things, and I know you relate to this, but it's one of the easiest things that we do because we like it. It's something that's our passion, is we like to do these kind of things. And I'll bring Pierce into this discussion as we're talking about the value of the Realtree brand, and I've mentioned this on our podcast before, but Pierce found us through Realtree because he was getting out of college. He had a background with some studies in wildlife biology and natural conservation and resource management. And, Pierce came in, and I'll let Pierce tell that. He's told it before, but tell us a little bit about that, Pierce.
Well, so, Realtree is what got my attention, focused on United Country. And that was kind of the tip of the iceberg for it. Looking back on it, you go to United Power and you meet all these people, and you meet, I met Slade, and it really, the Realtree part is great, and especially for the hunting aspect, and me with a background in natural resource management and conservation like that, it really can help us, not only get clients but educate clients on different management practices, to do if you want to kill a big animal. So, I mean, I think it's...
Yeah, it was an awesome deal when you came in and walked into the office that day and told me, you said, hey, I want to join up with Realtree.
Yeah.
And I want to join United Country because they are with Realtree. It's kind of like Slade said, you were attracted on the hunting side, but then when you did have the opportunity to come in and the hunting side's what got your attention, but then when you looked and you said, okay, wait, now this is also...
Yeah, you got Realtree, and you got UC Ranch and UC Commercial and all the other things that United Country brings to the table. And aside from all that, just the people that you meet along the way, it's a fantastic company, It's
kind of overwhelming when you think about all the potential you have with it. And Travis, the deal he uses a lot, Travis Wofford, is he talks about your toolbox. And he talks about all the tools that you have in your toolbox. And I was talking with Slade one night when they were down here hunting. And Slade, I don't want to put you on the spot, but bring some up. But he just stuck with me when you said, really, I want to get my clients to list with me because I know I can do them the best job, essentially. He said, when they go with someone else, I hate for them to do that because I can do them a better job. And you didn't mean that in an arrogant way. I think you just meant it.
No.
Serious.
I was talking with my client in the stand yesterday, my deer hunting client in the stand yesterday, about this same thing. It's a really cool spot to be in life and in your business when you know that you're your client's best option. And my wife picks on me all the time because I get so passionate about it when somebody lists with somebody else, because I know that I'm their best option. If they want to list their property and have it marketed the best, I know that I can put more eyeballs with the tools in the toolbox with United Country that nobody else can. So it's a really cool place. And when you sit down at a listing appointment and you really feel that way in your heart, it's pretty easy to win the listing,
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think what we're going to do here, we're going to take a quick little break. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk about this deer hunt you guys came down on, and we're going to throw a picture up of your deer, let you kind of tell us. I know we're going to have an episode coming up, but I'd like for you, if you don't mind, to kind of walk us through that day or that little trip, and we'll do that when we come back.
For all the reasons we at Realtree United Country Hunting Properties can list to buy your own hunting and recreational property, these have to be at the top. Contact your local Realtree Land Pro and turn your passion into possibilities.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this video. If you're watching it on YouTube, Please be sure to like and share the video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's one of the best ways that you can stay up to date on new listings and new activities that are going on with M. Edwards Realty and Land.
And if you're watching this video on Facebook, be sure to like and share the video, as well as like and follow our page.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Well, Slade, I know you got a lot going on. We won't try to keep you on here too long, but we were working on this for a few months to get you in, and I know about the time that the mule deer season cranks up, we're so limited here on the amount of time we have to hunt with that 2-weekend season. We got you in here. You came in the night of Thanksgiving, flew in, picked you up at the airport, you and Ryan, and next day had Pierce pick up the camera guy. But what was your were you thinking when you came out here that you would see the kind of deer and the amount of deer that you saw?
Well, first of all, to address the Thanksgiving, I had to, of course, okay that with my wife.
Yeah.
I told her, I said, listen, it would really help us out if I could leave at 2:00 from Thanksgiving dinner. And fortunately, I had done enough honeydew. She was okay with that. Thank you, Lori. And so we came in, and I tell you what, I was blown away. I've hunted sandhill country in Kansas, and I was blown away first at the number of mule deer, and I've been around mule deer a lot, but never in this capacity where they were so dialed into those wheat fields and so dialed into the farming operation. Those mule deer knew that those trucks didn't bother them, and the cattle didn't bother them, and people riding on. Of course, they wouldn't tolerate too much riding, but I was just blown away that there was a lot. It was in Texas fashion. It was a lot like a Texas hunt, and that was really cool from a mule deer standpoint. And also, and the quality was really impressive. Good mass, huge bodies. I mean, the deer that Ryan came this close to killing, he could have shot after camera light. If he wasn't 400 pounds, he wasn't an ounce.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm serious. When I really mean 400 pounds, I'm not exaggerating, because the one I killed was, well over 300, and this thing was just huge. And, we had a great hunt. The camp and everything was way more than I needed for hunting like that. I'd have stayed in a tent, no problem. But we had a big time. Went the first morning. It was freezing. The first morning, I remember that Ryan and we saw a lot of mule deer. And actually, so the first morning when we went out, Ryan was filming me. Our camera guy Jake had not made it yet, and we saw the deer I ended up actually killing that morning. So we saw a couple of really good deer, 2 and 3 year olds. And I looked up on the hill. Ryan said, "There's a buck up there in the sand hills," and he was up there messing with a doe or something. And I knew when I saw him, I said, that's a shooter. I'm no mule deer expert, don't claim to be, but I knew when I saw him, I said, okay, that's a shooter. There ain't no doubt. And so then I went describing the deer to everybody, there at the ranch, and they said, he said, yeah, that deer actually just showed up, and they showed me a picture of him. I said, that's him. That deer just showed up. We had not had him very long, and me and Jake went that afternoon, and we were seeing a lot of deer. And if a deer just shows up like that, it's not the ones that lives there every day. You kind of think, well, he may just be passing through. And then also, I thought he was up there with a doe, so is he going to be doing that for 2 or 3 days, that sort of thing? And sure enough, we were seeing a couple of deer. The deer were moving good, and about, I guess, 350 yards away, we step out, and when I threw the binoculars up on him, I knew it was him immediately, and or I was pretty sure it was him, and if it wasn't, it was his brother, and he was plenty big enough. And anyway, it was like he was on a beeline. We had all those does and young bucks around us. He came right down there and come to get him a bite of feed, and it was kind of a crazy deal. He come around to the right. I zipped one through him, hit him real good, and air went right through him. Excuse me, I do not have COVID. I got tested. I have a cold. And I got 4 hours the other day to find out I had a common cold. But anyway, I zipped one right through him. He ran over here, and we were in a bow hunting box blind, and there was a window, a corner of a window I couldn't shoot through right here. And if you've ever filmed in a bow hunt box blind, you know that you kind of have to commit with two people in the stand to one corner or one area. And so we were committed to over here, and we were about to take the window down. I was going to look at my status is I don't care how good you hit him. If they standing, you keep putting them in him till he's on the ground. And that's no disrespect for the animal, but I don't want to be the guy, because I've seen it so much from outfitting guiding over the years. I don't want to be the guy who shoots the deer, and then he we're not able to harvest the deer. But anyway, so we went, and the deer ended up walking to the right, and it walked in one of our windows at like 7 yards and laid down in front of the blind, and I was already drawn back. I zipped another one with him, and he went about 40 yards, and he he fell down, and we went right there to take beautiful sunset pictures. Man, that was a blessing in itself. Just the pictures we were able to take out in that wheat field and in the sand hills. Pictures you put on your business card, on your mantle kind of picture.
We got it up there where people can see it right now. And we were.
Hey, do y'all want to see a big buck right now?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can't with one.
Absolutely.
Hold on. I mean, you can't be the hunting land man and not show them big buck. Hold on.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm still on this podcast. They said they want to see us big buck. Hold on. That's a good one. Tyler, you pumped up, buddy? I'm absolutely pumped. Look at that big hammer.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Look at that big. Congratulations, buddy. That is a hammer.
Congratulations.
Sure enough.
Heck yeah, that's a bruiser.
I'm just
All
jealous.
right,
You guys are still getting
I'll
to
go
hunt.
get.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm still, we're done here, so that's kind of. How long do y'all get to go, Slade? When does your season end?
Till January 31st on most of our places, but I do have one farm that my family owns over in Louisiana that goes till February the 15th, and I have actually killed deer there in February. It's good hunting, but I'm usually kind of over it by February. I got to get back to work, get back to selling some land.
There you go. Well, just for curiosity, not to put you on the spot, but we're probably going to see that episode coming out here pretty quick, aren't we? I mean, as far as the mule deer hunting episode.
Yeah, pretty quick. Yes, our editor had some family. His dad had some health issues, and he's been dealing with that. I've been on him, but I'm not pushing too hard. And actually, speaking of Luke, our producer actually just went to New Mexico 2 days ago. He was there, fortunate enough to kill a big mule deer with his bow. So congratulations, Barrett.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, and I don't ask because it's actually going to be kind of nice to bring that up after we're past hunting season, be able to kind of take a look at it and relive it again. But that is another thing that I think is unique in the fact that we are going to be able to even have a turnaround time in a few months, because you guys, and I knew this already because, just watching over the years, you can kind of figure this out. But most of the time when you're watching a hunting show, you're watching hunting that had occurred the year before.
Mm-hmm.
So, y'all are
right.
putting
that is one cool thing about the digital shows. So, like through turkey season, we're filming a show one day and it may be out 4 or 5 days later. We try to keep it really live during turkey season, just shorter hunts and easier to produce. But it's really cool because, in the past with filming outdoor television, you shoot a deer in October of one year and you don't get to see that show come out till, July of the next year. So you're a year behind. And us selling real estate, heck, our listings don't hardly last that long. We need to, especially right now, we need to rock and roll. And it's really cool to be able to come out like that. And as we move forward with this thing, we're taking that to the next level. Monty saw the other day that I posted on my social media about a video I did with my cell phone when I was there. Mm-hmm. And of course, the whole time we were there, I was doing Instagram stories and things like that. And that's one thing, getting back to United Country and the Realtree partnership. Realtree and United Country have partnered together on common best practices also. So, social media being the one that I'm talking about now, of how can we, do a better job with both companies of social media and borrowing best practices and ideas. And that's one thing we're able to do, when we come film these shows or with Realtree. If we come to an area like that and we have a good hunt, I mean, you start getting people talking about it today. And as y'all know, in real estate, you want somebody talking about your real estate agents or your office or your company anytime it can come out of their mouth. I mean, anything you can do, you want them to be first of mind, and that's one thing, with Realtree and being we're associated with a hunting company is, if you have a buddy that kills a big deer in your county, all of a sudden that comes real estate talk because that's in your county.
That's true.
And so and so it's a like for instance, this morning there's that big deer you just saw right here in Amite County. Well, I was killed in Wilkinson County, excuse me. And I saw another friend of mine kill a big deer in Wilkinson County this morning. So all that does is promote my area. I'm preaching. Y'all see me on social media all the time about what you can do in killing these counties that I promote. And whenever somebody kills a big deer like that one we just saw right there, it sure helps. Prove my point.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's just like you say, it's buzz and it's stuff that people like to talk about too. There's so much stuff out there that is negative, but this is something that's high energy and positive and good, and we all like to be a part of it. And one other thing I wanted to kind of bring up while we got you on here, getting to be around you guys, and I talked about this while Ryan was on, it was really encouraging to me because, knowing you guys have been in that television and online hunting world for a lot of time, a lot of years, and been around that, seeing that you guys just talking to you about how you hunt, your ethics, the way you do things, of course, the way you do your business as well. It just reaffirmed to me too, and I've seen this ever since I've joined up with United Country, that there's a culture, and I think it probably extends to a big part of the Realtree deal too, based off what I've seen with you guys, that, man, you can just count on having good, honest folks for the most part, that are in this, and we all kind of have a common thread there. We're mostly God-fearing people that want to do what's right no matter what. And I saw that in you. I really did appreciate that too. And not to put you on the spot.
Mike Duffy always says it.
Go ahead.
I said Mike Duffy always says that. He's talking about us as office owners hiring agents. First of all, number one, are they a good person?
Mm-hmm.
That's where you start. And so that goes back to exactly what you're talking about. What you were saying, go ahead.
Well, no, I just tie in with that. I mean, because at the end of the day, when you're dealing with somebody and you're in a fiduciary role where you're putting their interest ahead of your own, that takes a person that really, honestly, that matters to them. Not just when people are watching, but no matter what. And I saw that with you guys, the way you talked about how you hunted. I think it'd be kind of a deal. You learn that when you're a kid hunting too. That's one of the cool life lessons that you learn, is there's a right way to do this. And there's people that don't do it right all the time, but that defeats the purpose. And I know you're competitive as all get out, and you're going to try to sell more land than anybody with United Country, but you're going to do it at a high level of integrity. And so when you do it, it means even more. And I'm not trying to put you, try to make you, embarrass you or anything, but I think it's something good for, when I've got a kid and I've got him watching a show, and these guys that they're watching are good role models. Man, that's just so important, and it's so lacking in so many areas of entertainment today. So I just wanted to tell you I appreciate
that. Is 100% right.
Yep. Well,
and you bring up a good point, and thank you for the kind words. You bring up a good point with the being a good role model in United Country, and I went to church with Monty. Monty was he's a Sunday school teacher and a big influential person, and as a real estate, as a broker, we're in front of the public all the time, and being a good person and a good role model, and our job as Christian people, and Monty, I know you're a good Christian guy, is to be influential on the outside world. And what better to do? Sell land, get in front of people, talk about things you like anyway.
That's true. That's true. And bringing up that too, it's always good when we do slip up that we know that we are forgiven, huh? That's for sure.
That's right.
No, listen.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? I'm looking forward to, hopefully getting you guys back out here sometime. I know may have a lot of people listening with United Country too. We're looking forward. We got a convention coming up. Those are always great times. That's something that I've really figured out going to the last one. Huge thing for our agents and our people involved, because you get to go and be around some of the brightest and best farm and ranch and recreational property and rural property, country property realtors. in the nation, and getting to see all that you do there. It's, I saw you at convention, and I mean, we had some unbelievable breakout sessions there, and it's something that I'm really looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, I always encourage everybody, go to convention. It's a good place to be. You talk. You only as good as the people you hang around, and you're hanging around some of the best agents at convention.
Good point. Well, listen, you've been so gracious today to come and spend your time with us. It's been a real treat. I hope we can get you on maybe later this year, maybe during turkey season.
Mm-hmm.
I have a gentleman that's going to come up in a few weeks. We've mentioned crane hunting on here a little bit. I had a guy come up to me. He's one of the guys you actually met when we were at church. But he said, man, I'm going to tell you something. He said, this crane deal's kind of took off in the last few years here, for the rest of the world. But he said, we've been hunting crane here for a long, long time. And he goes, I got some guys I want you to interview that were making decoys back 30, 35 years ago. And I'd like to get a couple of them guys on them talk about what they've done over the years with crane. Before they had crane decoys you could go buy and do things, those guys were figuring out ways to hunt those crane and geese. And so, just that's another example too, though, where that opened up a conversation is going to be a good way to give information to people. And so this has been fun, Slade. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Slade.
Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all having us on, and good luck the rest of the year, and I will see y'all at convention.
All right. Well, hey, guys, thank you for joining us this week on Gun and Saddle. We'll be back next week. Not real sure what we're going to have on next week. We're still working on programming. Nora Sullivan had to postpone her travel plans to get down here today. She was going to be on for a second segment. But you know what? We're going to have something next week that'll be entertaining, I can assure you. We'll be posting about that probably by the first part of next week. So, Pierce, thanks for being on. You got anything you want to add before we go? Anything?
Well, I'll just add on to that crane thing. I didn't know about that, but that gets me excited. I've heard some funny stories about the cranes. I've heard of guys getting them yard flamingos and painting them up like a crane. So I'll be interested to see what they have to say.
Yeah.
30 years ago, man.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. Also, another thing, I've got different guys talking about some different things we're doing with some of our range management, which I think would feed right into some of Pierce's wheelhouse. We're going to have some things coming up with that as well. So we got a lot of things coming. We're looking forward to seeing you guys again. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week on Gun and Saddle.
Thanks for watching Gun and Saddle, a United Country M. Edwards Realty and Land weekly broadcast. Have an idea for a future episode, comments, or suggestions? Email us at comments@gunandsaddle.com. Remember to subscribe or follow us today. Join us again next week for a deeper look at the land we all love and the people that call it home. This is Gun and Saddle.
The time has come to sell, but who can you trust to help? This isn't just dirt. It's the place your children took their first deer.
Honey, that's a giant.
The value of the timber is the old wooden stand you just can't bring yourself to tear down. The roads may be gravel, but they access countless memories. This is more than lines on a map. It's your small piece of heaven.
Heck yeah.
This is your property, and that's why we want to be your agent. Realtree United Country. Turn your passion into possibilities.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this video. If you're watching it on YouTube, please be sure to like and share the video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's one of the best ways that you can stay up to date on new listings and new activities that are going on with M. Edwards Realty and Land.
And if you're watching this video on Facebook, be sure to like and share the video, as well as like and follow our page.
Thank you guys.